sorry that I'm having to do this in two parts, but it was better than starting it off again. So where was I? Basically, just to explain what happened there was my phone was an idiot, and it decided to pause my video, telling me that there was some software issue that it keeps happening on my phone. I'm sorry. I will apologize. But anyway, main point, I was on there, got me notes. So what eventually happens in the film, so this is a spoiler, so if you want to timestamp the review here and come back to it once you've watched it, fine. What eventually happens is like they end up being the only ones live in Baghdad at the time of the war starting. So just as the anti-aircraft missiles start firing, bombs start dropping, that's when they're there. They're right at that point, and leads to actually one of the most emotional scenes of the movie. Just before that scene, like I won't go into it, but it's quite emotional. You don't expect the film to be quite emotional. You expect it to be really like action packed, but it does actually know when to like shut itself up and like be a bit more quiet and have a bit more conversation with each other. Um, but then so like I believe that only it's not really like a big star cast, and I believe that the only big stars are, let me get this right, Michael Keaton as our main guy, Robert Wiener, and Helena Bonham Carter as the fellow producer, and it's the fellow producer called Ingrid Formanek. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. I'm not sure. Who is like honestly like my new like journalist spirit animal. She's great and she's quite relatable to me. She gets some of the best lines in the film. She's really funny. She's like a really amazing character slash person. I feel like person would be better because it's based on an actual like journalist. Um, and like everybody else acting in this is really good as well. Like I don't want people. I don't know why, but I feel like people who make movies who don't have like a lot of stars in it, they feel like they have to have at least one star in them, so that this does. But I feel like everybody's acting is like good, and I don't want people overlooking their acting as well. Because look out for these people who aren't like so well known in the film because they are good, and if you analyze their acting as well, they're keeping up with like the big ones, like the big names. And they're doing really well. They're acting their little hearts out. Like I don't know if I should know them. Maybe it's just me being dumb. Like I don't know. But like what I like about this is like the journalists are not glamorized. They're not like it's showing you like real life, like how hard it is to work in that kind of environment, how hard it is to be villainified from both sides. Like you have the enemies that obviously hate you because you're the enemies to them. That you're Americans, you can't be neutral, um, and then you've got like from the American sides, like you see it in one particular part where they're trying to interview this guy called Bob Vance working in the oil rigs, and then they're effectively being held captive in Iraq because the Iraqis won't let them leave without these like exit visas. And then someone else, like another colleague of it was a guy called Bob Vance. Am I pulling that out my ass? probably. But trying to interview that guy anyway, and this other guy had a problem with it. He had a problem with the CNN journalist. Getting used to that kind of attitude. In fact, it's pretty much the first thing you're told as a journalist. It's like, look, if you can't handle the hate, can't handle the criticism of you just being you, then get out of it. Because there's loads of people that want to attack you for doing your job, especially as a journalist. And I'm a shit journalist myself, so watching this was great inspiration for me. It's like, makes you feel alright, makes you feel like you're not so crazy after all for wanting to choose a profession where everybody hates you from all sides. Doesn't matter what you do, people just hate you. They think you're pushing an agenda, and a lot of this is like bad media representation, especially for females. Like, a lot of them end up being like villainified as, oh, will sleep around for a story, will like basically be treated like a Bond girl in quite a lot of films, and especially in superhero movies. Do you ever notice like they're really glamorized? Like, come on, guys, have you ever seen a reporter actually wear that stuff? Like, I've seen loads of British like reporters like knee deep in snow, like wearing like puffy jackets because it's cold outside, and I've never seen them so sexified. Like, you ever see like the reporters reporting on stuff that's going on in superhero movies? Like, do you ever notice how like sexy they are and like how obvious it is that they're trying to like make them into these like it's almost like they fetishize like being smart. And it's so weird because it's like, yeah, of course being smart is an attractive quality, but do you need to like fetishize to a point where it almost seems dumb, like the characters almost seem dumb? I don't know, it's just my weird way of analysing it. Um, so I feel like the way journalism is portrayed in this film, very, very good. There's a great podcast on analysing this film, and I think it's like a little series that this guy's doing, and I would recommend looking at that. It's he's looking at how journalism is portrayed in the media, what's like the most stupid examples, what's the best examples. This is one of the best, I think he said, and it's more like balanced, and he talks about like the ethical issues that are brought up during the film. I'm not going to talk about that. I'll leave it to him because he does it really well. And I think the last thing that I'll say about this is like the writing and the directing of this film is also really great. I mentioned it being quite quick and witty, like especially Ingrid Fonak's character. She's quite sarcastic. She's quite ready to give her opinion on things. She's not willing to sit back and let other characters in the film boss her around, especially Robert Reeder, because like although they're like friendly with each other, and you can tell that they've had a long-standing relationship throughout the film. Like, you can also tell that she doesn't take a shit, and that's brilliant. Kind of reminds me of the relationship I have with one of my colleagues. I won't name him, but I feel like he's very Gryffindor, and like she's very Ravenclaw. She's like the one who keeps him in check. She's like, stop your shit. You're headlong into danger. You're not thinking about this. Stop. Just stop. like she's good at that, and I feel like Winner kind of needed that, and it shows their relationship in a good light, and shows it in a very human light as well for the emotional parts. Um, Directing as well is also good because like I'll use Ingrid's character again. Like Helen is very expressive with like her eyebrows, and she uses that a lot. Don't know if it's the necessarily direction, but just the being her interpretation of like the character. But her eyebrows like shoot up, and she like flutters her like eyelashes when somebody says something to her, and it's it's just great. Like and some of the lines in this, it's just epic. Like they get this new piece of technology called what's it called? Can't remember. Damn it. But it's this thing. I don't think it's a satellite phone. I think it's four so, four wire, something like that. And it allows them to speak directly to their offices in Atlanta and tell them what's going on in Baghdad, like live from Baghdad. So they don't have to get the information like secondhand or the next day. It's live, and it's a fairly new piece of technology, and the Iraqi government only allowed them to have it if they promised it wasn't to go until Atlanta. It was for it to be used for something else, but it was connected to Atlanta. They just lied about it. And so there's a part there when the that four wire or whatever it's called is delivered into the room, and Ingrid is convinced that they're not going to get it, and she sees it, and Robert Mueller's really proud of himself, and she just says, "Oh, fuck me with a hot poker," and like I never use that. I'm using that all the time because it's such one of those repeatable quotes from the film, and it's just so funny. Like I love things like that, like a subversion of um something that's already been used. Like people say, like "fuck me gently with a chainsaw." That's like a new one. I've never heard that one before. It was just so unexpected, really. At that point in time, everyone's sort of fawning over this thing, and she just goes, "fuck me with a hot poker." And the Iraqi guys' reaction to this is perfect because he just sort of looks around at her like she's got horns on her head. It's great. It's fantastic. Um, there's also right in it where it's like her character comes up to Robert Wheeler's character and just nonchalantly tells him that this Arabic phrase, and he turns around and says, "Oh, what's that mean?" And she says back to him that it means "don't shoot, I'm a journalist." Um, she's now become a tattoo idea of mine. I want to get that tattooed behind my neck. I think it may be useful. You might need it one day. You never know. You might get it on an American flag or something, just to be controversial. But it was really like well directed because you can see that she was only telling him as like a piece of advice, and it was, again, I don't know if it's just acting or directing or a mix of both, but I feel like they both sort of work together because the direction there, like you can see Robert Wheeler's like expression, like trying to hold back the shot.